Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Everyone say Hare Krishna. Okay, so we're back with another exciting edition of Bhagavatam Bites, and we've decided to try to keep everyone awake because we're in a very special place today. We are in, where are we, everyone?
New
Mayapur! So we're in New Mayapur Dham, and we're with a group of wonderful, wonderful devotees. We're here for a sadhana retreat, and as part of the sadhana, everyone was up for reading together and doing a Bhagavatam Bite. So we'd like to thank all of you for being here. Hare Krishna. And so we're going to start the reading now, taking in turns. So where are we, Bhava Bhakti?
Canto 4, Chapter 27, Text 4.
And we do the invocation all together so we can all say it together. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Leeleshwari Devi, would you like to start?
Translation. In this way, increasingly overwhelmed by illusion, King Puranjana, although advanced in consciousness, remained always lying down with his head on the pillow of his wife's arms. In this way, he considered woman to be his ultimate life and soul. Becoming thus overwhelmed by the mode of ignorance, he could not understand the meaning of self-realization, whether regarding his own self or the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Someone else would like to read
the purport. Human life is meant for self-realization. First of all, one has to realize his own self, which is described in this verse as Nijam. Then he has to understand or realize the Super Soul or Paratmatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, when one becomes too much materially attached, it takes a woman to be everything. This is the basic principle of material attachment. In such a condition, one cannot realize his own self or the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
I think that's the end of the paragraph. Keep reading. Okay.
In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Verse 2, it is therefore said, Mahatsevam daram ayur vikmutes tamot daram yoshitam sangi sagam. If one associates with Mahatmas or devotees, his path of liberation is open. But if one becomes too much attached to women or to persons who are also attached to women, that is, attached to women directly or indirectly, it opens the Tamodaram, the door to the darkest region of hellish life.
Okay, let me see it for a minute. So just to let everyone know, I'm the only man here amongst many women, and if you're getting the wrong impression, you know what's going on here, please don't do that. But this is an interesting conversation that's being had, and maybe just for everyone to, King Puranjan is a allegorical story that's being told by Narada Muni to another king whose name is Prachini Barhi. And he has, his sons are the Prachetas. His sons have left home, they're performing austerities, and we're going to come to that in the next couple of chapters. But in the meantime, he's a king, but he's very much attached to his kingdom, and especially to his wife and family, and to his sons who've gone off now to do austerity. So Narada Muni comes, and the way Narada Muni does things is always, we can learn so much, because he doesn't come in and say, hey, Prachini Bari, you are such an attached householder. It's like, give it up. He sits and says, oh, would you like to hear a story? And he says, I'd love to hear a story. Please, Narada Muni, tell me. So he's telling this whole allegory. And along the way, in the previous chapter, he's told so many things. But now, King Puranjan has gone out. He was hunting. And now he's come home into the arms of his beloved wife. So that's the background. but Prabhupada is making a statement here, and I'm always intrigued, and Krishna has arranged this, that now I'm sitting here with 6 ladies, and Prabhupada apparently seems to be speaking almost derogatorily, one might think, could see like that. So I'm just wondering what do you get from this purport and these statements? What are you seeing in this? How are you seeing this? How does it relate for you, or what are you hearing? Anyone would like to share? Don't be shy. We're often blatantly honest on these things. So, Bhava Bhakti, anything you'd like to share? Here come the cows. Cowbells.
I didn't know off the top of my head. Sorry. Just that if one becomes too much attached to women, or to persons who are also attached to women, that is attached to women directly or indirectly, he opens the Tamo Dwaram, the door to the darkest region of hellish life. And that also works both ways. So that can also work for someone who's too attached to men, as it were. Men. And in other words, it's not that the woman is, evil or the temptress. It's, as we were just previously discussing, in terms of what is it that we are attached to, or how is it that we are leading our lives, and to what extent is this person spiritually evolved. And to that extent, woman can actually be your liberation. If the woman is situated herself in the right way. And it's not so much the woman that is the person that's going to lead to the downfall, but it's where that person is at, where they're situated, men or women.
Okay. Nice. Anyone else? Any thoughts? Any comments? Okay, so we got the shyest group of individuals here. I'm sure as soon as the camera goes off, they're all going to be like, I had a few thoughts. Of course, I think Bhava Bhakti kind of touched on it, which is, here we see also, I guess, you could say in a traditional sense, generally, you got Narada Muni speaking to a king. It's kind of almost a male-dominated space, and in that space, the men are trying to become self-realized, and for them, the downfall is an attractive lady, where I get completely distracted in one sense, materially. But really, the important point that Bhava Bhakti is made here is that if both parties are in the right consciousness, actually, the Grihastha ashram is a path of liberation. And amongst the Mahajans, the 12 Mahajans, or great personalities that are listed in the Bhagavatam, that we're meant to follow in their footsteps, of those 12 Mahajans, 7 of them are Grihasthas. So it means they're married people. Often we hear about the principle of sannyas and renunciation, and to completely abandon and give these things up. But actually, many of the great souls are personalities who are also householders. Srila Vyasadeva, compiled the entire Bhagavatam. He's a married man. He's the father of Shukadeva Goswami, so he also has children. Bhishma Dev, Prahlad Maharaj, Yamaraj, all of these personalities who are great souls, they are all married, but they're still leading by example. So like that, it's one of those we were discussing earlier about challenges. So it's one of the potential pitfalls. It's like a potential pitfall, but it doesn't have to be. It depends on our consciousness and how we kind of take to it and deal with it. Anyone else? Any thoughts? Okay, so let's read the next paragraph. Someone else would like to read?
King Puranjana was a great soul, highly intellectual and possessed of advanced consciousness. But due to his being too much addicted to women, his whole consciousness was covered. In the modern age, the consciousness of people is too much covered by wine, women, and flesh. Consequently, people are completely unable to make any progress in self-realization. The first step of self-realization is to know oneself as spirit soul apart from the body. In the second stage of self-realization, one comes to know that every soul, every individual living entity, is part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, Paramatma, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.7. Should I read this?
If you can.
Mamevam so jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manasasthani nindriyani prakriti sthani karshati.
Haribol. And then the translation.
The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind.
Any thoughts?
This is kind of like what we were discussing in the seminar just now, that the mind can be our greatest friend or our worst enemy. So the main thing is learning how to control the mind instead of it controlling us, which is what we tend to be normally nowadays. Like, we're controlled by our mind instead of controlling our mind.
Yeah, nice point. Actually, I forgot to bring up in the previous purport, or in the previous paragraph, it mentioned something about association. What was it? What did it say? There it is. Relation.
If you're attached to people who are also attached to women, so that's the association.
Yeah.
Right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there was.
If
Yeah.
one associates with Mahatmas or devotees,
That's it. Yeah, that was it.
his path of liberation is open.
Yeah. So the idea is that we have to find good association, and if we associate with those who are advanced spiritually, then the pathway for liberation is open. Yeah, beautiful. So very much, both things actually very much related to what we were discussing today. Any other thoughts?
I like how it's explained here, like, the first step is to know yourself as spirit soul. That's apart from the body. And then the second stage is coming to know that we're part and parcel of the Lord. So it's kind of like, again, we were discussing earlier about, Prabhupada said, first become conscious and then Krishna conscious.
Beautiful. That's nice. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. So first become conscious of what I am. Okay, what am I? Atato Brahma Jigyasa. What is that? It's okay. This is going out to millions of people, so you'll be a star tomorrow. You want to be right there. So, yeah, beautiful. Very nice. Very nice point. Okay. Would you like to read, Dara?
All the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Unfortunately, in this present civilization, both men and women are allowed to be attracted to one another from the very beginning of life, and because of this, they are completely unable to come to the platform of self-realization. They do not know that without self-realization, they suffer the greatest loss in the human form of life. Thinking of a woman always within one's heart is tantamount to lying down with a woman on a valuable bedstead. The heart is the bedstead, and it is the most valuable bedstead. When a man thinks of a woman and money, he lies down and rests on the arms of his beloved woman or wife. In this way, he overindulges in sex life and thus becomes unfit for self-realization.
You're holding the mic, young lady. And the world is waiting.
I think there's one thing that's come up, I think, throughout this entire purport is the idea of lust. So it talked about the senses and the mind leading us astray, and how actually when we let the senses and our mind control us, it leads to lust, it leads to degradation. And then it ends here by saying ultimately we don't become self-realized, and we just end up frustrated, repeating over and over again the same things, but with no satisfaction in the end.
Stuck. Very nice. Yeah, it makes me think the principle, the nature of the soul is anandamayo bhyasat. Our nature as spiritual beings is we're searching for pleasure. Like Lochanananda said this morning in the class, he said that Prabhupada made this statement, our goal is sense gratification. And in essence it is. We just don't understand that it's not the material senses that we're meant to be gratifying, it's the senses of Krishna. And if we gratify the senses of Krishna, if we water the root of the tree, if we please Krishna, we please his senses by like we were talking about earlier, by chanting his holy names, offering bhoga, worshiping the deity, hearing Bhagavatam. All of these things are pleasing to Krishna. And if we do those things, then naturally we also become pleased. We become happy. We become blissful. Because we're satisfying the internal need, the real need. We're not trying to pretend, we're not trying to satisfy the false needs, which will never actually be satiated anyway. What is it? Bhagavad Gita says that lust is the insatiable, enemy, and it can never be satisfied. No matter how much fuel you keep supplying, you think, I'll just do this and try to satisfy. And lust isn't just the material engagement between, two people for sex, whatever their gender, but it's actually the strong desire to control or to exploit something or someone in this world for my own personal pleasure. So lust can manifest in just the idea of trying to exploit situations so I get out of it what I want. I'm doing it for me, and I don't care the cost at anyone else. That's what leads to anger and greed and so many other things. So very, very powerful point. Thank you for honing in on the essence. Anyone else would like to share anything?
I'm just thinking about what you shared earlier in the class, where sometime to be stronger in those situations or any challenges that we face is to find higher taste, because those higher tastes will always help us to navigate that ocean of Maya, because we always have to go against it. The flow is not easy. We have to push it, and we have to go against the flow.
And when you said that, it's also natural. The attraction between man and woman is natural in the material world. It's not an unnatural thing. It's not something that we should try to go against, but it's something that needs to be engaged in the correct way. Krishna even says in the Bhagavad Gita that I am that sex life which is according to religious principles. So it's not that our philosophy or our movement is against, engaging for the purpose of procreation to bring children into the world. It's a very natural act. It's a natural thing. In fact, none of us would be here were it not for that natural act. So it's not that we should criminalize it and make it a bad thing. It's not bad. It's just the consciousness and intention behind it can be destructive to the ultimate realization of the real goal of life. Like that. Anyway. Anything? Anyone? Okay. Let's see how long the next one is. This is... okay, it's a bit long. We'll save that one for tomorrow. Okay. We're all good? Any final closing statements? All right. So this is a nice testimony that sometimes you just got to read Bhagavatam, so you do it. You sit down and you read together, and it's just really sweet and beautiful. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you all for being here. Maybe you can each introduce yourself.
Haribol, I'm Tima and I live in Leeds.
Hare Krishna, I'm Lisa from... No, I'm Lileshwari from London.
Okay. Hare Krishna, I'm Vanamalini from London as well.
Hare Krishna, I'm Varsha from London as well.
Hare Krishna, I'm Dara from Leicester.
Hello.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Please read Srimad Bhagavatam. Haribol.
Haribol.